Hey, morning guys. We are gonna start harvest today. Actually, as you can see here, we started yesterday just a little bit. We basically picked along the driveway here and along the driveway there. The beans were about 14.5 to 16%, so 1.5, 2 points too high. So we're gonna try it again today. Probably our latest start that I can ever remember on the farm. It's October 1st today, and last year at this time we were at least half done with beans, so later start than usual. Actually just walking over to the grain cart tractor here and going to accept a profile that I sent to it yesterday. There's our harvest 2023 profile. We'll accept that, and then we should be able to run machine sync on this tractor. Go give the beans a quick check here before we fire up, just to make sure they're at least sort of snappy. Half of them snap, half of them don't. So we're probably here about an hour too early, but we'll go try it anyways. Just gonna change a few settings here quick with our mapping. I want that to actually show yield, so we're gonna do that with a variety locator background, which means we'll be able to see the variety changes in the field, and then the colors. So the pink here will be the variety background, and then this will be our yield map. This is actually what the other combine did. Let me see if I can get a better view of that. There we go, got a better view. So this big long strip here is actually what we did with the other combine. I only did this little strip here, so they communicate back and forth so I can see where he's been and vice versa. But now I'll be able to see a yield map on my screen as I'm going through the field. Gonna verify our speed settings as well. So turn our separator on, and cleaning fans at 980, which is fine, and this is at 580, which also is fine. Kick the head on and let everything get moving. Let the oil get a little bit warm in the draper belts, and then we'll take off. Well, like I said, I think we're here an hour too early. Looks like we're still in the 15s, so we should probably get out, take a moisture sample with our manual checker and see what they are, and make sure we're not getting too many wet ones. But I decided to cut around just to see what they were, so I'm gonna grab our handy dandy hand checker and grab a sample out of the grain tank. First, I'll just grab a sample out of the actual sample door here, and then I'll probably grab one off the top too, just to get a couple. So since the combines are new, we don't necessarily trust the moisture sensors just yet. So we grab a sample with our hand tester till we get the moisture tester dialed in on the combine. I don't know if you can read it, but it says 14.1. So actually, my combine was reading just a little bit high. It was reading mid 14s, low 15s, and the sample with the hand checker here was 14.1. The moisture we're looking for is actually like 13.5 or below. 13.0 is your ideal moisture, but we'll take them 13.5. They'll dry just a little bit in the bin, especially on the bottom. First dump of 2023. This setup is a little different. We have the grain bin up here, and then we set the wagon right here next to it with an auger, and we just run the grain cart up to this wagon and then dump it in the grain bin. So we don't use any trucks up here until the grain bin gets full. Then we have to haul beans from here back to the home farm. But usually takes about 400 acres to fill that grain bin, so we'll get a good start. This farm is also about 15 miles from our home farm, This is the farm we most of the time always get started on. This is where we first started soybean planting, and almost always the crops are ready here first for planting and harvest. So it works out nice. We don't have to drive 15 miles with a semi. Just put the beans in the bin here. I'm actually just gonna leave the combine sit here, get out, talk to Dad. Looked like he had his moisture sampler too. We have one in each combine so that we can verify different times of the day or year, whatever. So I'm gonna get out, talk to him, see what his moisture sample read, and we'll get a plan. Well, Dad got the same 14.1, 14.2 on that hopper load. We decided that the beans are drying fast and they'll be fine on the bottom. We'll blow air on them, so we're gonna actually get going here. Just gonna hop out here real quick and verify a setting back here that you actually change manually. Well, that was loud, so I couldn't explain it, but that is the rear sieve all the way in the back before the chaff gets to the chopper, and you adjust that manually, and just wanted to make sure that it was actually open just a little bit. All right, we're going pretty good. Got, looks like 27 acres for myself and 53 acres between the two machines. Got some bugs worked out, and beans are in the low 13s. So it's going good. Got our team page right here. So this is me with my grain tank is 40% full, and you just saw that change right there. It means the other combine just kicked his unloading auger off and he is empty. So I can see what his grain tank level is at, and then the grain cart also can see where both of our grain tanks are at and where we're at in the field, so he can decipher where he needs to go without us yelling at him on the radio. There he's dumping in the wagon to dump right in the grain bin. Basically, with both combines running 240-foot heads like this, and the beans are actually better than we were expecting. The auger basically never shuts off. That wagon, he basically fills the wagon every time, and the auger pretty much runs the whole time we're harvesting. Works out pretty decent. That's my brother-in-law in the grain cart. We will probably try out that machine sync to where the grain cart can, or the combine can control the grain cart, speed, side to side, left to right, all that kind of stuff. We don't necessarily need it. He's very experienced, been running grain cart a long time for us, and custom harvest crew for a few years. So we don't really need it, but I'm gonna try it out just to play with the technology. I think what I'm gonna do for the harvest videos is keep them shorter and do more of them, so you guys basically feel like you're riding along with us. So if there is anything you want to see, like this is day one, and I'm probably going to try and put this video out pretty quick. If there's something you want to see in the computer, or me explain something better, just let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure to cover it. I don't quite have the fridge stocked up yet, but I at least got a few beverages in there to keep me going. I'll show you guys how the combine advisor works a little bit. So we have a few pods in the tank. So we're gonna select that we have some light foreign material, that's minor, and then it comes up with the solution right here. Wants us to increase our cleaning fan speed by 20 RPMs. So we just apply that, and it makes the change for us. And then we look in the back. Obviously we have the window covered now, but once we get the next hopper load, we'll take a look at it and see if it made an improvement. There are a ton of settings or issues in here that you can report to the machine, and then it will come up with a list of solutions for you whether it's you're losing grain out the back of the combine, or there's too much grain in your tailings, or you're not getting it out of the pod or off the cob. So there's just a ton of different things that you can go through on this list, and it'll give you solutions. Well, the fire department's out here. Luckily, it's not for us. The wire came off of one of the poles, and no, it was not us that hit it, and caught the field on fire. And luckily, we had already picked the beans, so they got the fire out, and they're waiting for the power company to come do whatever they do. A little bit of night picking. Normally, when the sun goes down, it gets kind of tough, starts pushing with the head, but it's been dark a couple hours now, and we're still doing good. Probably the biggest advantage to the draper heads is the ability to cut in tougher conditions. The sun goes down, wind quits blowing, the soybean stem and plant picks up a lot of moisture from the dew and the ground, and it makes it tough to feed in if you didn't have a draper head. So it allows us to cut later and into the night. Being that we have such a late start, we're going to try and push as many acres per day as we can. The later that we get into October, the worse the weather gets, the shorter the days are. It just gets tough towards the end of October to be able to harvest soybeans. So we're going to try and get as many acres in these first week or two of October as we can. Well, that's going to do it for today. We got 150 acres each, so 300 acres total. Pretty good first day. Beans are better than expected, so that's good. So that's going to do it for this video. We'll see you tomorrow.